This is Formula SideQuests, your mostly on-topic Formula One podcast, hosted by me, Kelly, and me, Shannon. Welcome to episode 4 of Formula SideQuests, your mostly on-topic Formula One podcast. I am Kelly.
And I am Shannon.
Been messing about with our sound levels. Thank you very much for those of you who are still sticking around. Considering, as one of my children said last night, the sound quality of the first episode was pants.
It was pants. And I will freely admit it was pants, but we are doing this on completely free software on a laptop that's near death with 2 microphones that were 20 quid off Amazon. Yeah. So you know, bear with us. But we have got better.
We have got better.
Even by episode 2, the balance of our voices was better.
Yep.
The issues that we were having the last 2 episodes were that we are fiddlers.
Yes.
And there is a notch at the back of the microphones, and as we were holding them, we were both fiddling with the notch at the back of the microphones, which has the wire input, which was always going to cause an issue.
Yes.
So we are now like some modern art piece using various pieces of furniture in my house to set the microphones down on a solid surface, and we are not touching them.
No. So what we're going to do with our hands, we haven't got a clue. But we'll find out by
I'm
the end of the
fiddling with my
episode.
pen for my notes.
Currently, I'm just holding on to my knees. Like they're going to escape, you know? It's like, no, you are staying here with me for this podcast.
Oh, I need to find you a fidget toy.
Yes, a very quiet one.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Right, that is not what we were talking about. We are going to be talking about, of course, the start of Formula One, the very first race of the season. Now, I don't know about anybody who's listening. We had all the intention in the world of waking up and watching it at 4 o'clock in the morning, British time. We had a plan. We even planned on making, like sausage or bacon butties.
Yeah, we were there. It was happening.
It was a plan. And then Shannon sent me a post the day before going, by the way, did you know that Sky Sports are doing a replay at 5 to 8 in the morning? And we were like, hey!
Yeah. And that suddenly sounded a hell of a lot more attractive.
Yeah.
The only downside of it was it meant that we couldn't record straight afterwards because we went and did other things. So it's now Tuesday.
Yes.
So we're 2 days post-race.
Yes.
This is not the going forward intention. We will mostly be intending to record race content directly after the race.
Yes.
But 8 a.m. versus 4 a.m. was a very attractive offer, especially as I haven't been massively well.
No.
You can probably still hear the cold in my voice.
Yeah.
So we took the easy option.
We did.
We are still committed.
Oh, God, yes. So we got up, we got comfortable.
And we did a lot of shouting.
We did a lot of shouting, and of course, we did a lot of shouting before the race even started.
Yes. So leading perfectly in. So obviously, if we'd been watching the live coverage, we actually would have missed it completely.
That's very true.
Because the live coverage started at 2:30 in the morning, the build-up, and there was no way on this earth we were going to watch that.
God,
we were
no.
getting up at 4 a.m. The intention was to be turning on the TV 5 minutes before the race start. What we got on the replay was a roundup of what happened in the build-up, which was, first and foremost, our home hero, Oscar Piastri, didn't even make it to the grid.
Yeah.
Wasn't even the formation lap.
It was coming out of the pit lane, going around, tootling along, trying to get onto the grid, ready to, jump back out, go and have a pee, have a quick drink, talk to Martin on the grid walk,
whatever the hell they do, yeah.
He didn't even make it.
Didn't even get there. So, at the time, it was very much as we were watching it, it was very much that looks identical to what happened to Max in quali, which was that the car suddenly, he went from nothing to having everything and he just couldn't catch it. But from what I've seen from post-race interviews and roundups from journalists is that actually it was kind of 20% car, 80% him.
Yes.
So what I didn't know, fun factoid.
Oh, lovely.
What we're here for.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No? I don't know.
What are we here for?
We just like to talk and we want to inflict it on everybody else.
Should we not pull on that thread? Is that these new gearboxes they are not synced with the car.
No.
When they send them out. This is like mind-boggling to me.
It's like getting in your car first thing in the morning and the gearbox going, actually, I'm not going to be working until about halfway down the road.
Yeah, it's mental. So the gearboxes aren't synced, so they have to go all the way through the gears once to sync the gearbox into, I don't even know into what. I don't know if it's mechanically, if it's electronically, I don't know. But it's not synced. So they have to, on the lap to the grid, they have to go all the way through the gearbox, all the way up to 8th gear once. Oscar was finding as he was trying to go up through the gears that they weren't going in properly, for want of a better phrase. So he was sort of cycling through the gears probably too fast, and this is where it was his error that came into it, was he was trying to force them in. He wasn't getting enough battery deployment, which is a phrase I think we're probably going to say about 50 times during this podcast, because no one was getting the correct battery deployment at any point.
No, that's very true.
And suddenly he was in the incorrect gear, he was forcing the gears too hard, too fast, and suddenly the car just went, oh, you wanted power? Boomf. And there was no way that he could save it. I think he kind of admitted that he was being a little bit impatient with his gears, and it has been concluded that it was kind of mostly driver error, which is a real shame.
It is, especially seeing as what happened then at the start of the race. We got to see a lot of differential between drivers in same cars, and it would have been just as fascinating to compare Oscar to Lando as everybody's been comparing George to Kimi, for example. So, you know, it is a shame that we have to wait until Shanghai, hopefully, to see that with the McLarens. But obviously, you know, it's the Australian curse.
It's your home race curse. It is your home race curse. And like you say, the Australian curse more than that.
Which, by the way, I don't know whether you noticed, they were including Bottas in that.
Well, obviously, honorary Australian. He's an honorary everything.
Yeah, because he's so lovely.
Yeah, that's true. So that was a real shame. So that was a proper Binnett situation. The other didn't even start situation we have was Nico Hülkenberg, which was really, we're both massive Nico Hülkenberg fans.
Yeah.
We're both massive Audi fans. So that was a massive shame. To be quite frank with you, the fact that as many cars finished as they did seems like a miracle at this point. And we were all prepared for having a bank of did not starts, did not finish, like, you know, tons.
To be fair, we were both quite worried about going into turn one.
Oh, how many people were actually going to come out to turn one again? Yeah, very true.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen. Weirdly, that didn't happen.
No.
In fact, weren't the rest of the DNFs all mechanical? No one else crashed?
Yes.
Brief look at my notes.
Yes.
Yes.
They were all, because obviously you've got, I mean, we'll go into it in detail later, but we've got both Astons. Carlos didn't finish, did he?
Carlos. My notes are shit. Please, by all means, keep that in. My notes are shit. I've got...
I just want to point out that she's made notes. I've not bothered.
No, you didn't even bother, no. I thought I ought to. I thought one of us ought to. My notes read thusly.
Oh.
Lap 7 George Racing recharge complaint, pit lane Lance Carlos.
Right. Great.
But I've written Max Nico. Oh, no, ignore me.
We usually do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's the whole point of the...
Yeah.
Carlos, no, you're right. Carlos didn't finish, but he didn't crash.
He didn't crash.
No, he did finish.
Did he?
Yeah, both Williams finished.
All right.
Carlos started from the pit lane.
Oh, that was
Carlos
it. That's
didn't
what I had in my
qualify.
head. Yeah.
But he did finish.
Yes.
No points. Thank God I've got these as well. I'm just looking at secondary notes. I'll keep that open. Okay. Bloody hell, where were we?
Nico not starting.
Jeez Louise. So he made it out to the grid, but then had to trundle back into the pits.
Yeah.
Seems like it was just a mechanical nope. Which then actually... Gabby finishing well.
Yes.
Was then a fairly large miracle.
Yes.
After that, but bless him, he finished in ninth.
Yeah.
So
yeah, in the points.
Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
So we made it to the grid, establishing that there were 20 cars starting, which then makes the comments of, oh, we've got 22 cars on the grid. We really haven't. We still haven't started with 22 cars on the grid, and I would put money on us not starting with 22 cars on the grid for quite some time.
Yeah.
So we finally got there. The first thing of note on that start was that whoever was pressing the button was an impatient little bugger.
Yes. Those red lights seem to be a lot faster than they have been in previous seasons. Interestingly enough, a lot online conspiracy theories around must have been a Mercedes fan.
It was a British person that I know.
So it could very well have been a Mercedes fan.
I can't remember her name. Because the initial thing was, were they Italian?
Yes,
which really made me smile.
Yes,
but yes, no, it was suddenly like, okay, the blue's on, but I'm sure the blue didn't last 5 seconds like they said it was going to for the first set of revving. And then it was sort of like 1, 2, 3 happened at a normal pace.
And then
4 seemed to come in a little bit quicker, but then it seemed to be 5 go. It was 5 on, 5 off.
Yeah.
Normally it's 5 and you're sat there going, oh my God, press the button. Oh my God, press the button. Oh my God, press the button. And it seemed to just be just gone. Yeah. I found it very interesting that it was Charles that was the one that pointed out how fast they went off, and he was the one that benefited from it the most.
Yes, that's very true. I would also like to point out that when the lights went out, we were so engrossed in, oh my God, there's a Ferrari going. Oh my God, there's a Ferrari going. Oh my God, there's a Ferrari going. That I genuinely didn't register the fact, and I've only noticed this because of something that I saw today. The lights caught Crofty out.
Oh, did he not time his?
He sort of rushed it a little bit because the lights caught Crofty out.
So the first that lights out and away we go of 2026 was blah, 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 because it just, I didn't know. I didn't even notice that either. I was so set on looking at who wasn't going to move because I was convinced. I was convinced that there were going to be cars that weren't going to move, and there were to an extent.
There was to an extent.
We'll come back to that. No, I didn't even notice. That's hilarious. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Only slightly, because obviously he's a professional.
Absolutely.
But he was sort of like, oh, it's lights out and away we go. And it's the ooh at the start.
Where it's like, oh, we're going. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's really funny.
So yeah, there's that whole fiasco around the lights.
I wonder what it's going to be like this week.
Interesting.
And then the biggest thing of note that start was one of the best starts in F1 history. It was, I guess, like, it was always going to be to a point because we just didn't know what to expect.
Yes.
We didn't know what was coming. And actually everyone could have got off the line in a perfectly normal, very British, after you manner. And I still would have been excited.
Yeah.
Because we had cars racing.
Yes, and after everything that has happened over the pre-season testing.
And there was a point in which only Mercedes were going to be racing. And even then, they were probably illegal. So A, we had cars racing. And B, we had cars that were actually moving in a point in which we thought that everyone was actually going to have no battery recharge and no one was going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But what made it even better, that what got us off the sofa and on the floor within 0.3 seconds was Charles Leclerc going, I'll have a bit of that. The most beautiful race start. And I think he probably surprised himself.
Yes.
Because that car was a rocket ship. Oh my God.
I mean, not just Charles's start, but Lewis's start as well. Again, it would have been interesting to see what Lewis could have done if he didn't have a space in front of him, because obviously Oscar didn't make it to the grid, so they didn't move people up. He was still in 7th. So the spot in front of him was completely free. So he essentially had free air and then could choose what to do rather than just go, oh, right, where the hell am I going? Am I going this way, that way? So it would be interesting to know how he's going to fare in Shanghai, depending on how they qualify. But even so, the pair of them have got rockets strapped to their arses, and it's beautiful.
They really have, and it was fantastic it gave... I mean, it was just a good racing start. Like, whether you're a Ferrari fan, whether you're a Charles and Lewis fan, no matter what, it was just a good race start. It was just oh, hang on a second, this is not a qualifying championship anymore. Because 2025 was a qualifying championship. Wherever you put your car on Saturday, you were, 80% likely that that's where you were going to cross the line on Sunday.
Unless you were Max. But we'll come to that.
I don't know why I made that face. No one can see. Only you can see. I made a very happy, satisfied face at that concept. But this, I mean, not just... We can talk about the top 4 till the cows come home because it was stunning.
Yeah.
But the rest of the grid...
Well, obviously, we've got to talk about Colapinto.
We've got to talk about Colapinto.
Unfortunately, Liam didn't have a great start.
He did not.
He struggled a little bit. And he has come out and said afterwards, yes, no, I did struggle a little bit. That was completely my fault.
Possibly caught out by the lights going out so quickly on top of
very true.
What buttons am I pressing? It's a whole new thing for everyone.
Exactly. But Franco Colapinto's reaction to that,
beautiful.
Just stunning.
So he was quite a few places back, wasn't he?
He
from
was,
Liam.
yeah.
And there was a Haas in front of him, I think. And the Haas I'm not entirely sure who it was. It must have been Esteban.
I think it was Esteban, yeah.
Clocked that, Liam's not gone as fast as I expected, and had a very for an F1 driver, a very comfortable level of time to move out of the way. But obviously, Franco's view of that incident was completely blocked by the fact that there was a Haas in the way. So the Haas gets out of the way, and suddenly Franco's like, oh shit, a racing bull. And he thank God there was no one to his right.
No, that's very true.
Because that would have been a very different race start. We would have had a safety car before we'd even got anywhere. But yeah, his reaction times were sublime. It's F2 2024 Monaco Isaac in the tunnel level.
Yeah.
I know that's such a niche reference. If you know, you know. Yeah. If you know, you know. If you don't know, Google it.
Or YouTube it.
It's sublime.
It's visually just so beautiful.
It's just incredible. But it was like, this is why they train in the way that they do. So yeah, kudos to him for managing to not rear end Liam. Well, I mean, kudos to all of them.
Oh yeah.
For managing to not rear end Liam. Yeah. So Charles gets up to first.
Yeah.
Straight off the line.
Oh.
The way that he carved up those Mercedes and went between Kimi and George was just some of the... I know I am probably the biggest Charles Leclerc fan in the world, and it's terrible, but it was some sexy racing. I won't pretend otherwise.
Genuinely, for the first 2 laps, we were on the floor and we were just making... We weren't even saying words. We were just making noises.
No. I think the only words that I said for 2 laps was, go on, Charles. And I think that was all. And I was slapping the floor.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing it wasn't 4:00 in the morning. My neighbours would not have been impressed. That back and forth between George and Charles for the first, 4 laps?
Yeah.
5 laps?
Yeah.
Was one. That is racing.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
That's what the entire aim of, we'll make them shorter, we'll make them thinner, we'll make them lighter, we'll do this, we'll do that. That was the whole purpose, and it's worked.
Yep.
I will admit, it does not take away from the fact that these cars are still dog shit.
Yes.
There is no escaping, unfortunately, that these cars are sacks of shit at the moment. No one's enjoying them.
No.
I can't think of a single team that got away scot-free this weekend without some form of issue of, well, this is a new thing and we didn't make it work properly. Even Mercedes, 1-2 on the podium.
Yeah.
They didn't have the correct battery recharge off the line. They had various battery recharge issues throughout the thing. These cars are a sack of shit right now.
Yeah.
But oh my God, did we get some racing?
Oh, it was just stunning. Absolutely stunning. But it just goes back to the point that we were making in like episode 2, episode 3 about pre-testing, about how it's not just about the cars anymore, it's about the drivers as well.
And that was really
it was so
showing.
Clear. Yeah. So clear in Australia. Yeah. Like when you're just looking at Charles and George and how they were using the cars in completely different ways. Things like how they're breaking into the turns. It's so much clearer now how different drivers use different aspects of that. Yeah. Like Charles was braking way before a turn to slow down so that he could speed up through the turn, whereas George was braking just before the turn, so he's going through the turns a little bit slower. You're not going to see that if you look back on replays from last year before.
Yeah.
As much as you did in just one race.
Yeah. No, you make a very good point. And I think actually it's a really good, this is going to be a nerdy shit conversation now. I think it's a real hangover from the ground effect era cars.
Yes.
Because I can't remember what journalist it was, one of the fantastic ones, they're all fantastic, but one of the ultimately fantastic ones, was talking about how the ground effect era killed the late breakers.
Yes.
And if you think about who struggled in the ground effect era, i.e. Lewis, Danny Rick, they were the kings of late breakers. Mm-hmm. They were the kings of that era of, you gonna bet I'm gonna dive bomb you down a corner, break the latest I can possibly break and take you on the outside. Mm-hmm. And that was their racecraft. You couldn't do that in the ground effect era because those cars just sucked. They just sucked. Racing, they sucked.
It wasn't that they sucked, it's just that they favoured certain driving styles.
Yeah. Which was, we're going to stick, it was a sticky car.
It was a sticky car.
So you couldn't late brake.
These cars, however, it is showing that, all right, the fact that they're dog shit, we'll put that to one side.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
These cars are showing that it is the driver just as much as it is the car. And that, I think, is something that we've not seen for a very, very long time. And I mean, I'm obviously a lot older than you. And, well, I am.
This is a strategic silence.
I grew up watching, like, Damon Hill and Nigel Mansell and Michael Schumacher in, like, boxes on wheels.
Yes, they were literally boxes on with a little sticky up bit at the back.
With a little sticky up bit at the back, You clip a car, that's it, your car's out.
Yeah.
You can't go back into the pit lane to change any part of it and back out you go. That was 2 days worth of work.
Yeah.
So you were relying so much on the driver's ability rather than the car. And then we get into more technical advancements and you get things like the ground effect era where it is so much more the car. I think this year we are going to have so many amazing races because it is such a 50-50 split.
Yeah. And I think those that found their rhythm in the ground effect era, like George, because he potentially he's not a late braking driver. He's very much a stick to your line, stick to your apexes driver. They fared well in the ground effect era because that's how the cars wanted you to drive them. These cars aren't like that. And when you get someone like Charles that is he's a karter at heart, he will drive those cars. Him and Max will drive those cars like go-karts if they get half a chance.
Yeah.
Suddenly those cars will let them.
Yeah.
They will let them drive. And Lewis is also going to benefit, I believe, as well.
Oh, yeah.
The people that have, I was going to say proper racecraft. That's not fair because there's something in hitting your lines perfectly, hitting your apexes perfectly, and doing a nice clean lap. There's something very beneficial about that. So I'm not saying that George is a bad driver for that.
No, but also I think that is also something that you tend to find with teams as well. So like with Mercedes, they tend to sort of get that into their drivers.
Yes, the precision.
You know, it's very much, and I reckon it's because of Toto, obviously, being German, you know.
Yeah, precision
stay
driving.
on your lines, and that's how you drive and things.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, though, who is going to be driving those cars. Who's driving these cars and what their style is. The fact is that these cars are now allowing the drivers. So I'm going to be interested to see if there are going to be drivers, especially some of the younger ones, thinking Ollie, for example, possibly even Arvid, who are now going to be going, oh, well, can I try something?
Yeah, precisely. And it's the trying something that I think that's what's going to benefit people. And I think that's why Charles was in a car that wasn't quite as fast as a Mercedes, keeping up with them, because he's I'm going to try something driver. So is Max, so is Lewis. And I think you're right. I think the babies could also learn a lot from that as well. These cars are going to let them go, well, what if I didn't hit the apex perfectly? What if I didn't late brake, but actually braked earlier to allow some recharge? To then actually, when I put my foot down out of the corner, I've got more torque than all of them put together. Like, it's going to bring a whole new level of racecraft, and good God, did we need that? After the ground effect era, we need some genuine seat of your pants racecraft back to actually have some racing.
Yeah.
So yes, I completely agree. I hope the babies are paying attention.
Yeah. Well, I hope that there's people around them that can turn around and go, hey,
have you tried this?
Have you tried this?
Think about that. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So there was a lot of back and forth in the first few laps. I'm realising now that I didn't write down when all the safety cars came out, but the first thing we need to do, it was fairly early on, wasn't it?
Yes.
The first thing we need to talk about is, actually no, I did, because it would have been, the safety cars came out when people DNF'd. So lap 11. Isaac suddenly on fire.
Yeah, bless him.
Really, really felt for him. He was up there. I can't remember where he was. He was running.
Sixth, I think.
Yeah, he was going really well. And it was a real shame. And he's got a real Australian Grand Prix curse. He's been in the sport for 2 years now. He has not completed the Australian Grand Prix. No. It's a real shame. But that was completely not his fault. Nice little bit of smoke. Rolled off to the side. Anyway, that brought out our first virtual safety car.
Yep.
In goes everyone into the pits to save what you save a solid 10 seconds under a virtual safety car when it comes to pitting.
Yep.
A solid amount of the grid did it. A solid amount of the grid decided that they were then going to move on to a 2-stopper because it was early on. Put on your mediums and off you go. And what did Ferrari do? Just remind me.
Oh, they decided to keep both Charles and Lewis out.
Yeah, and what do we think about that?
It was utter shit.
Yeah. It was probably
sorry, I'd like to retract that. It wasn't utter shit. It was, oh my God, it's a typical fucking Ferrari strategy.
Yes.
Bollocks.
And this is why when we did our predictions in episode 3, and you said Ferrari constructors, and I just went, no, that's why. Race 1, we have a prime example of how Ferrari, if anyone is going to screw it up for Ferrari, it's Ferrari. So I understand. I do understand that if you run into a computer, because that's basically what these teams do. If you run into a computer, what is the best strategy in the Australian Grand Prix? It will spit back out at you a 1-stop. That is the best strategy for that Grand Prix. With our tyre compounds, then again, the tyre compounds aren't faring in the same way with these cars because the cars are different, so you don't really know. But anyway, all of the data, all of the computer simulations, a 1-stopper is best. What other teams seem to be able to do is use their brains.
Oh shit, I've just realised.
What?
It's not that they're not using their brains, they're using ChatGPT. That's what it is. Ferrari needs to stop using ChatGPT.
You're probably not wrong.
Shit. Right, so I'm going to start a petition now.
Yeah.
For Ferrari to actually get people.
Well, I've got a better idea, actually.
Okay, go on.
And it involves you and I doing some undercover stuff.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ninjas,
Uh-huh.
right? Let's go and steal Hannah Schmidt from Red Bull. What do you think?
Oh, no.
For those that don't know, Hannah Schmidt is the reason that Max Verstappen has won 4 championships.
Yes, that's very true.
Hannah Schmidt is Red Bull's lead...
Not just Hannah Schmidt and GP.
Yeah, and GP. Hannah Schmidt is Red Bull's lead strategist, and she is... Oh my God, that woman.
She is so good.
She's so good. She is the definition of on the seat of your pants fantastic decisions.
Yeah.
Obviously, every single team begins a Grand Prix with this is what we're going to do. This is plan A, this is plan B. But a good team, an excellent team, a team that wins, will look at the situation and recalculate. And if they go to a plan that they hadn't even discussed before the race, they do it. And their drivers trust them.
This is the thing. We know from watching Grand Prix for quite a few number of years, even if you don't know what the plans are, just by listening to the radio sometimes and how the engineers are talking to the drivers and going, right, okay, well, we're looking at a plan D. How do you feel about that? Yeah. Or plan A would require us being out on these tyres for X amount of laps. You know, you have that back and forth between your drivers and your engineers. And we heard that in Australia with Lewis.
Yeah, going, don't you think we should come in? Don't you think you should bring one of us in? You should have brought one of us in. Are you coming in? Are we going to do nothing? Absolutely nothing. A good strategist or a good team will look at the live situation around them and go, okay, well, we were planning for this, but we need to shift a little. No matter what, literally no matter what, any regulations, any kind of race, any weather, any conditions, track position is king.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in front and after you've pitted, you are still in front, you're in front. It's a net positive. So at what point did they look at the situation of Mercedes pitting and go, now we're going to get them on pure speed alone? No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm afraid you're not. You've got a car that I will admit is probably the second fastest on the grid by some fucking miracle. I don't know how. But
I think it's because it looks so ugly.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they've had to compensate somehow.
Yeah. You know what? That's fine. I'll take everything back about the livery if it's actually fast. But so therefore you can't win on pace alone. Mm. You know you're not the fastest. And whether you're the second fastest or the 11th fastest, you still know that you're not going to win on pace alone. So strategy is where it's at. If they had pitted under that virtual safety car and not given Mercedes the 10-second advantage, I genuinely believe we could have at least got Lewis on the podium as well, if not Ferrari 1-2.
Yeah.
And that's so sad to me.
However, going back to your point of, becoming ninjas and stealing Hannah Schmidt, I've got 2 answers to that.
Mm-hmm.
One, no, because Max needs her.
Yeah, no, I that is the only flaw in the plan.
And 2, I don't think we'd make very good ninjas.
What, you rude?
I mean, we'd look good as ninjas.
We'd look excellent as ninjas.
But we are both clumsy.
Yeah, no, that... Ooh, yeah, she says as she leans... She says as she leans back and elbows the chair. It's because we're sat on the floor and I've wedged myself between the end of the sofa and the chair.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes,
no, you're right.
Strategy
shit
didn't work.
Moving on. The probably the best part of the race, in my opinion, was lap 9 when.
Is this the the graphics?
I'm not going to get through it without.
Honestly, this is brilliant. So, I can't even remember why Franco Colapinto got a penalty.
It was something to do with him and the racing bulls fighting.
Yeah. So there was an issue. They were overtaken. Franco, unfortunately, was a little bit impatient.
Yeah.
Went in slightly too early before he got ahead. And so he got what the graphics described as a Colapinto-and-go penalty, which was the best thing in the world.
The best thing in the world. And no one picked up on it.
No one in the commentary. Nobody said anything.
No, I don't know whether it was just bless them. There was probably so much going on and so much to try and keep up with that they didn't even see it. But as soon as it popped up at the top of my TV, I looked at Kelly and went, are you seeing that? It's a Colapinto-and-go penalty. And
I swear to God, if we do not have that reference now for the rest of the season, then Sky Sports and the FIA don't have any humour.
Well, the FIA don't have a sense of humour.
But Sky Sports
do. No, you're right. From now on, it is not a stop and go penalty. No. I don't think it should ever be a stop and go penalty again. It's a Colapinto-and-go penalty.
Yeah, it's a Colapinto-and-go penalty.
Beautiful. I mean, never mind the fact that it was harsh as hell.
It really was.
I didn't agree with it at all.
Especially considering that there were other incidents in the race as well
that didn't get penalised.
That were so similar.
Yeah. Yes, we've gone backwards slightly because that was lap 9, but I got stuck on virtual safety car and strategy and stuff. I'm going to go try vaguely chronological. So then lap 15, we had our second DNF of the race.
Yes.
But weirdly, not this individual driver's only DNF. It was a weird bloody race. So lap 15, Fernando Alonso retires, and from all of the chit-chat beforehand, it was both Astons will not go further than between 15 to 25, lap 15 to 25.
And that was the drivers saying that.
And that was the drivers saying that. Basically. And so we went in knowing that neither car were going to finish.
Yeah.
So Nando retires lap 15. The first time. Which is not something I ever thought I'd say.
No.
I genuinely didn't realise that you could go into the pits, have a breather, have a cup of tea, let the team fettle with a couple of things, and then get sent back out again. I honestly didn't know that was a thing. So he trundles into the pits on lap 15, lap 26, out he comes again.
Yeah.
I'm like, pardon?
Yeah.
Pardon? Very odd. So he's trundling back on again. In between that, lap 18, we get Bottas with a DNF.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what technical thing it was. There was no dramatic smoke. There was nothing like that. He simply parked.
The radio obviously afterwards it was he came on the radio and he was like, yep, no, there's something wrong. It's definitely mechanical. So they went, right, okay, box. And as he was coming into the pit lane, he came back onto the radio going, no, it won't go any further. I am just going to have to park.
Right.
So they're like, okay, cool. Now, obviously, he's in the pit lane.
Parked.
Virtual safety car. Everybody's like, oh, pit lane, great. We can go in if we need to. Obviously, me and you were like, great. Ferrari can come in. Go. Get somebody in. Please.
This was only lap 18 and the previous virtual safety car had been lap 11.
Exactly.
So we were like, here's their chance. We're only a few laps down. This will be it. If Ferrari pit both drivers at this precise moment, we haven't lost that much. And what does Valtteri do?
He parks in the pit lane, which then it closes the pit lane. So therefore, Ferrari couldn't come in. Even though Lewis had come onto the radio going, should I come in? Oh, no, I can't. Yeah.
So I'm going to give Ferrari the benefit of the doubt insofar as they probably were going to pit them.
Yes.
But they couldn't.
So we're going to blame Valtteri for that. Sorry.
Entirely his fault.
Yeah.
So then, lap 26, Nando rejoins and we're all like, oh, hello. He's had a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a wee.
Yeah.
We're ready again.
Yep.
Very odd.
Out we go.
My next note, and I'm hoping you can remember because I can't. My next note is lap 31. From the informative to the ridiculous. And I have something in the back of my mind that was that a commentary comment or a radio?
That was a commentary comment. And that was Crofty. It was
in reference to what?
I cannot remember.
Did I just write it down because it was a fantastic line?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. So then lap 32, George comes on the radio and starts complaining about the wind.
Oh God.
If you are out in front, and you are out in front, and you're going to be out in front, and you're out in front by quite a few seconds,
What are you complaining for?
I don't know. I think we wrote this down because we enjoyed the very British response from Marcus in return of just, yes, we're starting to feel it too, which for me read as, dude, we are literally sat outside. We know it's windy.
We've just seen paper go past our screens. We are fully aware of how windy it is getting.
Yeah. So then we get to lap 35 and Alonso decides that he's going to stop again.
Yeah.
And this time he doesn't come back out.
He doesn't, no.
So his second DNF occurs on lap 35 and that is it. It's 10 laps more than he said he was physically capable of doing. However, if you minus the laps of his brief pause in the garage,
probably about 25.
It's about 25 laps. And again, he just sort of goes into the pits and parks. There's nothing majorly mechanical about it. I don't know whether it was the team going, we're not going to continue, please come in, or whether it was him going, I physically can't continue.
Well, we haven't had much out to the garage yet from Aston.
No, there was quite radio silence from Aston.
Yes, which is concerning.
Yes.
But
not shocking.
Not shocking, no. But hopefully by the time we get to Media Day on Thursday for Shanghai, we should have something formal. Because obviously it wasn't just Nando, it was also Lance.
So lap 37, Lance heads into the pits and it comes up that he's retired. Lap 51.
Yeah, he's back out.
He's back out again, bearing in mind that we only do 56 laps in Australia. So he spent a really long time in the pits. I would say the fact that he got to lap 37 was way more than anyone expected them to do.
And more than he previously said that he could physically manage.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't think I could do any more than 15 laps. So the fact that he was out there for 37 laps.
Quite good.
Yes, he had been lapped by that time, but he was still going.
Yeah.
He was still out there driving.
Yeah.
And, I was impressed.
Yeah. So then he comes back out again on 51. He is 15 laps behind.
Yep.
But he does finish.
He
technically, in the classification, he is not classified as a DNF. He's classified as a finisher.
Yep.
Just 15 laps away. Never before, I don't think, have we ever seen an actual Grand Prix used as testing by a team. But that's the only thing that I can think that they're doing, is that actually they're well aware that they are nowhere near the points or anything. So what they're doing actually is going, well, we may as well, if you're able, we may as well send you back out for a bit.
Get some data,
see what's going on.
Either that or they were playing the okie-cokie. We just don't know.
We just don't know. Yes, so we had George, Kimi, Charles on the podium.
We did.
Now, the next thing that I want to come to
is it the green room?
The green room. The green room.
Oh.
The cool-down room.
It's a green room.
It's not a green room. Such a theatre kid. It's not a green room. Oh,
Yes, I am a theatre kid. It will always be the green. All right, the cool-down room.
I'm not even coming to the cool-down room first. I am coming to their immediate step out of the car.
Oh, yes.
George had been on the radio in the first few laps as he and Charles were going back and forth and swapping positions, saying that Charles was doing it dangerously. With, I quote, especially after what we talked about in briefing. Now, obviously, none of us are privy to drivers' briefings. No journalists are. No outside world is privy to drivers' briefings.
Nope.
I imagine there was a conversation about, because of the way that these cars behave, that actually upon passing, the space that needs to be given, everyone's unsure, everyone's getting used to it. There needs to be a decent amount of space given.
I can imagine that there was a lot about safety, driver safety, but also hazard perception and being just that little bit more aware of, your spatial awareness, where everybody is, where you are, and so on and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. And fair play. But I didn't read any of those moves that Charles did at all as dangerous. I thought they were nice, clean racing. I thought it was giving the correct amount of space. I didn't think he was pushing it on any level at all. At no point was George forced off the track.
And I mean,
it all seemed very clean to me.
When not just looking at George and Charles, I know what's coming up, obviously, but when you're looking at other people who were racing at the same time, you know, yes, there were a lot of incidents flagged. And apart from the Colapinto-and-go penalty, nobody else was penalised.
No.
And again, it just seemed to be more of the FIA going, okay, so this is new cars, new regulations. You know, these are drivers who are still working out how to drive with others on the track, because that's for me, one of the issues of pre-season testing is that you don't actually have all cars out on the grid at the same time.
You don't simulate any racing.
Whilst you're testing. So this is essentially a test for all cars on the track.
Yeah.
And I think the FIA, especially with some of the incidents like Liam and Sergio, for example, I think they were looking at that and going, okay, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It is racing. And I think looking at what Charles was doing, especially when he was going back and forth with George, yes, 100%. And I'm not saying this as a Charles fan or a Ferrari fan. It was both of them looking at what they can do in that car.
Yeah.
And how they can do it.
Where's the limit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was racing.
But they got out of the car and it seemed that George wasn't done.
Nope.
And immediately went up to Charles and started talking to him. We presume they weren't mic'd at this point, about the moves that were made. And Charles did not look happy.
No.
And Charles pulled out a Max and started gesturing. And talking about the lines that he'd taken and the space that he'd given, I assume. And I saw a post, and this for me is like the absolute, I completely agree here. How angry do you have to make Charles Leclerc for him to still be pissed off at you when he gets out of the car?
Yeah. Because
we don't see that.
No.
He is a driver that manages to keep it behind the wheel and behind the wheel only, in a way that a lot of them don't. In a way that a lot of them do on the surface, but you can tell when it's bubbling.
Yeah.
He manages to just completely switch it off.
Once he's out of the car, that's it. It's over and done with.
There are only 2 times I can think of that I have seen him still seething when he's out of the cockpit. One of those times is that classic, and you see it on reels all the time, of by the time he got back to the garage when Bianotti was still team principal, and Charles was seething and he was shouting. Number 2 is, again, that shot that you see all the time of, I can't remember what Max had done to him, but they were both on the podium and they're out of the car and Max is talking to whoever he's talking to, and the look Charles gives him is, oh, I'm coming for you. Those are the only 2 times that I've seen him still hold something after he's got out of the cockpit. He was so unhappy at George.
Yeah.
If George hadn't gone over to him, we would have been fine.
Yeah.
And then George continues to rage bait him in the cool down room, going, oh, but you guys weren't slow. No.
What were you expecting, George?
And Charles has just sat there sort of smirking at him in a kind of a, no, we weren't. Does that scare you? Kind of way.
Also, Kimmy, bless him.
Oh, poor Kimmy sat in the middle.
You could just see Kimmy in the background going, ah.
Mum and Dad are fighting. Actually, I can only say that when it's Max and George, can't I? But he continues to, and I don't quite know what George is trying to get out of him. And then Charles is like, yeah, but yesterday, referring to qualifying, and like, you know, how they weren't really anywhere near. And George just simply goes, yeah, but you guys screwed up qualifying. Whoa. I don't know what this man's intention is. If he's trying psychological warfare, A, wait until the middle of the season when there's actually a points difference and you need to. But B, don't do it on someone that it's not going to work on. Yeah. it would work on Max.
It would work on Max.
If you started doing that to Max, Max is going to start coming at you. It would probably work on him.
It would work on Lando, but with like the opposite effect. Lando would become more withdrawn, and you know, that would then affect his driving. There's lots of drivers that it would work on, but Charles is very much a, right, okay, well, that happened. I'm over and done with it now. I'm out of the car. I'm off to go and see my wife and my dog. Actually, what would be Charles's first impulse? Would it be dog or wife?
Oh, it'd be Leo.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm off to see the dog, who just happens to be by my wife. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, switches off, a couple of days, back to it for next race.
Don't rage bait him.
Don't
rage bait anyone. So I don't know what the intention was there, but it wasn't, I didn't enjoy it.
No.
I didn't enjoy it from a Formula One fan perspective. I certainly didn't enjoy it from a Charles perspective. I was sat there going, you fucking back off. So interesting. So that was our podium finishers. Lewis obviously came in fourth.
Yes.
Which was
started at 7th,
fantastic.
finished at 4th. Lando was 5th. And then Max was 6th.
Yes, sorry. Lando got 10 points, then Max got 8 points.
Because we've got to obviously have a very quick mention of the fact that Max started in 20th.
And ended up
in 6th.
Driver of the day.
Fantastic
sarcastic response to that as he was stood in the media pen talking about how much he didn't enjoy the race, how much he didn't like the cars. And the journalists turned around and went, yeah, but you got driver of the day.
Yay!
Yay!
With a fist pump. That was
but
was brilliant.
It was a stonker of a race. I also saw a face that was like, how high do your expectations of a driver have to be that they've gone from P20 to P6 and we're all going, yeah. Anyone else who would have been like, oh my god, amazing. What? But we're talking about a man that's gone from pit lane to podium in wet conditions.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like this was just at no point did I think that Max wasn't going to be in the points in that race.
Mm-hmm.
And also at no point did I think that he was going to be much lower than where he was.
Yeah.
It was sort of expected of him. He drove exactly how I thought he was going to drive. The fact that he didn't get past Lando was surprising to me.
Yes, and we did mention that. Whether that was Max not being able to pass the McLaren or whether that was Max just going, well, I've got up to P6, I'm just going to kind of enjoy the rest of it and just get some data on this shitbag of a car.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I think it was part of that. I think we watched in the last sort of 7 laps, Lando start to work out how to drive that car a bit more. Will was on the radio to him talking about where he was getting recharged, where he could LICO, where it was all slotting together, and I think it was starting to click into place for him a bit.
Yeah.
So he was starting to work out how to use that car defensively. Yes. So and then another mention that we have to have is Arvid.
Oh, bless him.
Points on debut, 3rd youngest driver to get points on debut.
Yeah.
Had an excellent drive.
He really did.
A really, really excellent drive.
And
very,
Ollie.
very proud of him. And Ollie. Ollie was 1 place ahead of him, wasn't he?
Yeah, so, you know, we had 5 British drivers in the top 8.
Yeah. Point scoring.
I mean, obviously, Britain as a country, we are cracking at certain things. Not many, but we are very, very good at motorsports.
We are very, very good at motorsports. We're very, very good at producing.
We are very good at producing.
Drivers.
We're also very good at creating and engineering and building said vehicles for motorsports.
Yeah.
And it was just brilliant to see.
It was lovely.
Such a diversity of British talent because, you know, it's not all just, there's the young ones. You've got Lewis, who, you know, is nearly as old as me or older than me. I can't remember how old
He's not older than you, hon. Sorry. I don't think he is.
He's in his 40s.
He's in his 40s,
Yeah,
yes, but he's not older than you. I don't think.
But you've got such a span of age, talent.
He's 2 years younger than you.
2 years younger than me, there you go. And they were all there. They were all up there. And again, it goes back to what we've been saying. It's not just the cars this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is the drivers just as much.
And pulling on that thread, Pierre Gasly. P10, 1 point.
In an Alpine.
I mean, I don't know where that come from, but already, don't Alpine have more constructors' points than they ended on last year? Did Alpine get any points last year?
Oh, I think they got like 2.
They got 22 points.
They got 22 points?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it was all Pierre.
It was all Pierre. But that's 22 points over 24 races.
Yeah, it's a bit shit, isn't it? That's a really good point, actually. Yes. So, but the fact that he got points on race 1. When that car was a sack of shit all last year. Maybe it's not quite as shit this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah.
So that is our race roundup of Melbourne, Australia 2026. I hope you enjoyed listening. We will be back on our next episode of Shanghai. Oh.
And we will be recording it.
We will be recording
straight
it.
after the race.
Straight after the race. I mean, not straight after the race, because once the race finished, I'll need to go to the toilet and then set up the microphones
and have more coffee.
And have more coffee.
Probably have breakfast.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, are we wanting sausage butties again?
Probably.
Okay, cracking. So we shall see you there. So thank you very much for listening. You have been listening to Formula SideQuests, your mostly on-topic Formula podcast with me, Kelly.
And me, Shannon.
Bye!